I might have mentioned earlier and then forgot to oh, keep talking about it. He's a fat official as well. This guy also has the whip or whatever. Range is good here if you can. Well, actually, it doesn't seem like he's taking that much mag damage. Or my magic sucks. Ooh. Let me take off that thief ring since I'm gonna need my FP back or MP back. Oh no. Yeah, that medium amount of damage. And there's one up top as well. Up there. And he'll shoot fireballs at you as well if he can aggro on you. So just be careful. Oh no, roll! Sniped. Sniped. Too good. Too good. Too skillful on my part. Killing some of these fat officials isn't necessary, but some of them do drop items that are very important, and I think that the drops start here. I might be wrong. I don't think we fought any in Boletaria yet. Yeah, okay, so this is where the drops start. Like I said, this guy has that pickaxe attack. There's the chunk of damage that it does. I was trying to avoid that, but he got me through the wall. What I was trying to say a moment ago that I think I also, once again, forgot to keep talking about was the shield. The shield, having an upgraded shield might be nice. And I just fell for the pickaxe attack again. But I, personally, just have the buckler right now. If you have the heater shield, or the kite shield, I think the heater shield is better, but the kite shield might still do work. I'm going to try to look to pick up one of those because it's just much better for blocking. And then I'll try to upgrade one as well. That's something I would like to have, in case it's something that you already have. And you're like, shields are useless, or they're not that good. You can upgrade them and make them better. Smiley face. And I think they're really helpful because shields can, like, nullify a lot of everything that the enemies do. Which is always cool. He's lost aggro on me early because of the thief ring? No, I have the frag ring on. I guess just being as far away. I don't know why he stopped shooting me. On this path here, if you just walk across the left beam, you'll be okay, because the thing is gonna break. Pull my shield. Not good. Knock him down. Doesn't do that much damage. Oh! Get that smack. He is beacon. He thinks that shit's funny. There we go, the officials' gloves. So, the officials will drop their armor. There are 4 different officials that drop 1 piece of the official set per guy or whatever. 4 specific officials. And we're going to want to get that armor set to gain access to an NPC. And it's also required if you want all the trophies and spells and stuff. See, that guy right there has the... All of them drop upgrade materials, but the ones with the bag, they drop way more. Like the little sack there. This level is always so good for that reason, because of the upgrade materials. I haven't forgotten. I mentioned this earlier, but I still haven't said it. Stats. Stats. I wanted to talk about stats and how I want to level up my character and stuff like that. So, In Demon Souls, I think one of the most important stats to level up is vitality. In other Souls-like games that I play, I usually don't push vitality too hard. And there are different reasons as to why. But I usually don't push vitality very hard. I actually feel like I just level it up a little bit as I go. In this game, I unfortunately made the mistake of doing that as well. I just figured that it would be at least like Dark Souls 1, and Dark Souls 1 is one of the games where I feel like your average player might think that I criminally underlevel vitality. Well, I don't want to say that, not criminally, just not as much. At least in the beginning of the game, that is. And in Demon Souls, you play with your health halved most of the time that you exist. Unless you're going to be using the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes consistently, you will always be in soul form, basically. Or if you beat a boss, and you just live through an area or whatever. But you'll be halved at your health for, like, ever, basically. I was trying to remember where to go. And in New Game Plus, this kicks ass. I went through my whole first playthrough of Demon Souls with somewhere around 25 vitality, and I wore a set of armor. I had like 40 endurance, and I got my ass beat in New Game Plus. I couldn't even take like one hit from your average enemies. I had somewhere around 25 vitality, and for the beginning, Boltari and Palace and stuff wasn't too bad. So it was like once I got here to Stonefang that I really started to struggle, because there's a boss here. There are two bosses here, and well, I mean, there are three bosses here, but the two that I'm talking about are the ones that are relevant. And the first one, the very first boss of the area, isn't all that difficult, and it was one-shotting me. I had 25 vitality and basically a full set of armor, excluding a helmet. I was wearing the dull gold set, in case you're wondering. And this was just not good for business. I was like, man, I'm getting one-shot, that's crazy. And I just kind of continued on like that, because I didn't think it would be a big deal. But then the second boss of this area also one-shotted me. And it was killing me in one hit in the most horrendous way you can imagine. Just some of the normal attacks that it was doing was killing me in a singular hit. Now, I wasn't always being one-shot, but I was being very close to one-shot from a lot of the attacks that the enemy was doing. And so I realized that I really needed points into vitality. There were a couple of other things that I did wrong with that build, but I definitely learned that you're going to want to have somewhere around 40 vitality. At least, in my opinion, for your first new game. If you're really good at the game, you might not agree with that. You might say that it's okay to have low vitality because, you know, there are two spells that I actually had at the time that I just didn't realize. I didn't realize how good they were. I didn't even actually use them at all until after the fights, where they would have been really helpful. And those can really help you. They actually helped me later in my playthrough. But the thing was, when I was using them later in my playthrough on New Game Plus and later into the game and stuff, I had somewhere around 40 vitality at the end. And I had 35 or whatever when I started actually using them consistently. And it did significantly reduce the damage that I was taking. But it was basically the equivalent of what you might take in terms of damage as like the Temple Knight or Knight in this area. Moral of the story is that enemies hit really hard, especially since you will be playing with halved health. So you want really high health so that you can avoid being one-shot as much as possible. If you're not going to use magic, I don't even know what to say. Like, magic in this game doesn't cost anything. In other games, it costs like intelligence. You need a certain level of intelligence or faith or whatever to use stuff. And in this game, all you need is enough points to cast it and enough magic slots to hold the spells. And the two really good ones that I'm talking about, they require 2 slots. So if you're not sure what to do with your build, I would recommend having at least 2 slots of either faith or 2 memory slots in either faith or magic, because I was trying to think about what I said wrong there. They're called magic memory slots in this game. Attunement slots. You'll want 2 attunement slots for either miracle memory or magic memory, because those spells are really, really good, and they'll be very, very helpful in the late game. You can get access to them here. I mean, technically, you could access one of them already if you wanted to go do it. I think I'll be getting access to them relatively quickly. It'll feel quick to me, anyway. And they're really, really, really good spells. Also, you'll need enough magic to cast them. I believe the silver coronet increases how much magic points I have, how many magic points I have. And then the silver bracelets might also do the same thing. Here is Blacksmith Ed. If you remember, Blacksmith Baldwin mentioned Ed and how that stubborn ne'er-do-well will turn you away. Beautiful area, by the way. This is him.